One thing I do have a question. So let's say someone listening right now, they're really interested in like the health benefits that supplements have, but they're a bit spooked out on the fact that you said a lot of these companies are kind of like smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best way to research and trust the brand of supplements you're getting, or to find the right supplements for them?
Yeah, it's a great question. Part of it, I think, goes into again my shorthand is buy from Nootropics Depot. The second is one of the reasons why I like Nootropics Depot is because if you go on their website, you actually can go and look at their lab. They actually have like an interactive 3D guided tour of their lab, and then they have videos on it. They show all the lab analysis, their certifications. They show all that stuff on their website, that third party audits, all this stuff. So you can kind of go on there and quickly be like, okay, these guys are legit.
Yeah.
Most supplement companies don't have any of that stuff on their website. They don't show you their lab. A lot of them don't have labs. What they do is they buy this shit from China. No hate on China, but China is, from a supply chain perspective in the supplement industry, extremely lax with quality control. There are some very ethical, high end, labs and sourcing in China. So I'm not blanket statement hating on China, but by volume, by far, most of the stuff coming out of China is very low quality. And a lot of these people are not vetting it. This actually happened recently. I think it was testosterone. There's some sort of supplement that this dude on YouTube who is like kind of an influencer in the supplement industry, and he basically the Nootropics Depot actually did a their own lab test on their stuff and was like, this stuff's bullshit. Like
Hmm.
it actually doesn't have most of this stuff in it. It's not good quality. And this guy got really offended, and because people were saying like he was intentionally manipulating people.
Oh.
What the end result was is that this guy was basically given a bunch of bunk third party test that wasn't actually like real. The sourcing of the company that was sourcing all this stuff basically just made up a lab report talking about the purity. And this dude, unbeknownst to him, taking, his professional contacts, taking them at face value, would say, okay, I'm going to come up with a supplement.
Hmm.
And so if that appears to be the case, I'm trying to be charitable to this guy. That appears to be the case. That stuff happens. So again, it's hard. Like, to answer your question, there is no 100% affirmative way to know
Yeah.
because unfortunately you can't trust the FDA because they don't regulate fucking supplements that much, if at all. Outside of like, yeah, you can't put arsenic in your fucking stuff. It can't be something that can kill you. But there's not a lot of oversight in the supplement industry. The other thing, yeah, again, I think I would just look for reviews on Amazon are largely bought. There's a bunch of brands that both Nootropics Depot and other people, like some of this, our Nootropics, our supplements, the people have actually crowdsourced, like paying for third party testing
Yeah.
on these supplements. And a lot of these like big brands that you see on there that have lots of reviews or like actually like don't have nearly as much as they say they have in it. Some of them have none, but usually the more popular brands have it, they just might not have as much and it might not be the same quality that they say. Um,
Interesting.
in general, Jaro is pretty good. I like sports research. I like life extensions. Um, Thorn is another good one. I used to like pure encapsulations, but since they got bought out by Nestle, I don't really trust their decision making anymore. Nordic Naturals is pretty good for fish oil. But like I said, my default pretty much across the board is Nootropics Depot because they're really the only one I fucking trust. And so, but there's just certain shit that they don't have. So I typically try to go with those brands. Um, there are some, I forget what the company's called, but I get like my Chlorella from this one company that's like a German company where they like actually grow it in like glass tubes instead of like in a
Hmm.
pond because the thing with Chlorella is it's an algae that absorbs like it helps you absorb a bunch of toxins and shit. Problem is if you put it and you grow it in a giant pond, it absorbs the fucking toxins.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I see. I see.
yeah, so like that's a problem is that you're buying this stuff and it's so good at being a binder for toxins that it again absorbs anything,
And
any
then you're putting the
impurities.
toxins in.
Yeah, so they actually grow this shit in clear, like huge, long, bendy glass tubes with like distilled water or RO water and stuff like that. And it's like about as pure as you could possibly get. So there are some brands that are like very niche that I
Mm,
generally
yeah.
trust, but that's like on a product by product basis.